Sometimes in life, man, you gotta take a few steps back to make forward progress. Today is a very, very exciting day. If you can't tell by the smile on my face, we're taking a few steps back, maybe let's say 2 steps back on the twin turbo NSX build to make like 40 steps forward of moment of progress. Can't talk because I'm excited. I am pissed off with the shifter cables, the shifter, everything to do with shifting the NSX. So currently we have a built 5-speed K-series transmission, very, very nice transmission that we built for the car, full FF gear set, straight cut 1 and 2, helical 3/4, still a synchro transmission. It was a sick transmission. Unfortunately, there's not that many K-swap NSXs out there in the world. So trying to get the car to shift properly has been a freaking headache. 1 through 5 works fine, having issues with reverse. Ultimately, what I wanted to do from the start was put a sequential transmission in the car. I couldn't justify spending that kind of money for a very long time because, I mean, just that turbo kit alone cost way too much money. Like more money than I used to make an entire freaking year I spent on the turbo kit. So couldn't justify it, but well, you guys know what we're doing to the NSX today. We're gonna go and shift properly with something good. Let's get something good. If you don't know what you're looking at, this, my friends, is a Quaife sequential transmission, of course, for the NSX project. If you don't know what a sequential transmission is, let me show you. A traditional manual car, it's an H pattern. So first gear is to the left and forward, you pull back for second gear, third, go to the right, up, fourth, down, so on and so forth. Sequential, you go drive and you go bam, 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 bam. Now, of course, this is a full straight cut transmission, meaning all the gears are straight cut, dog engagement, no synchros. Basically what this is a race car transmission, to sum it up in a few words. There's always been like stigma or kind of hate around sequentials, and I never really understood it. So maybe a year ago, I bought the same transmission for the yellow Evo build, put it in that car. Was one of the best mods I've ever done. Now I really don't understand the people who hate on sequentials. They're freaking amazing. They're so fun to drive, especially if you put a strain gauge on it, meaning a shift knob to where it'll automatically cut ignition when you shift, so you don't have to use the clutch. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with a sequential. Now, yeah, you can do some of that with a straight cut H pattern. That's a lot to get into. We're not gonna go over all that today. Today, we're gonna put this freaking sequential in the NSX. And I, my friends, am very, very excited. Now, this may seem like it's gonna be a ton of work and a waste of time. I should have just done this from the start. I kind of agree, but at the same time, it's really not that much work to pull out the power plant out of the NSX. The way this car has been built, the entire turbo kit is gonna stay on the car. Of course, everything back here will stay in the car. We're gonna have to pull off the motor mounts, disconnect fuel lines, drain the water, pull off the intercooler pipe, disconnect the exhaust manifold, pull out a few pieces of hardware for the cradle and the engine, transmission. Everything will just drop right on out as one unit. If I was in a hurry, I would put money on that I could get the power plant out of this car in an hour. But I'm not in a hurry because I'm chilling. I'm having a good day, putting a sequential in my NSX. What is life, man? I'm gonna have 2 sequential cars now, Evo and NSX. That's insane. The one thing I do need to change, I'm gonna add it to my list, is putting just a firewall connector, a quick disconnect on the engine harness. That took way longer than anything else so far. Up top, we're pretty much ready to go. I gotta pull the radiator hoses, and then one last time pulling these stupid, crappy, dumb shifter cables off the car. I'm gonna throw those in the garbage, and I'm excited for it. I'm not kidding when I say this. 30 minutes later, everything up top that needs to be removed is removed. Let's get the car in the air, pull off those subframe bolts, and this whole freaking power plant is gonna be on the ground again for like, I don't know, the 4th time, it feels like. So as you can see, my initial plan changed. Initially, I was gonna pull the engine, transmission, and the rear cradle, the subframe, with all the arms and everything. I was gonna pull all that together. I figured it's gonna be easier just to pull that subframe cradle separately. That is now out of the car, looking brand new still, because we just refreshed it. Now all that's left holding all of this in, 1 bolt here for the motor mount, same thing on that side. 2 more bolts and this whole power plant will come out. Now you might be thinking, why don't I just leave the engine in the car? Now I could, but it's literally 1 more bolt to pull the engine with the transmission. Doing it that way, I won't scuff up the bay, I won't chip the paint, everything will just drop down onto the pellet, I'll lift the car up, and we will swap out the transmission. And just like that, the whole power plant is on the pallet. Let's go ahead and separate the transmission from the engine. So we have a few bell housing bolts, and then there are a few things that we're gonna have to jack off of this transmission and slap on the new sequential. Mainly things like the throwout bearing, the clutch fork, stuff of that nature. All right, look at that. Transmission's off. All I really need from this is everything you see right there. And also, we cannot forget the alignment dowels. So the sequential is ready to go on the engine, almost. There's one last thing that I need to figure out. This is very, very important, and it has to do with the shift selector, this guy right here. So typically, when you put a K-series in a car, it goes in the front of the car, right? So when you mount the shifter on the tunnel, you'll mount it this way, cable facing the firewall, the front of the car. You'll connect the shifter. When you go to shift, pulling back goes up a gear, pushing forward goes down a gear. Now on this car, obviously the engine's in the rear of the car. So in order for this cable to work, we have to mount the shifter the opposite way. Now if we just mount the shifter the opposite way and keep the shift selector on the transmission the same, shifting will be reverse. So as you're trying to drive, you have to push forward instead of pull back to go up a gear. Now maybe that wouldn't be a problem if I didn't have other sequential cars. But say I go drive the Evo and then hop in the NSX and they're shifting opposite, that'd be a very, very big problem. I would be money shifting this thing all the time. I'm hoping and I'm thinking that Quaife, the manufacturer of this transmission, is really intelligent and made this super easy for us. Let's take a look. If my hypothesis is correct, we should be able to pull this out, pull off that cap, do a little flip flop. So this is on the rear of the transmission because the shifter cable will be coming this way. So this has to be back here. This guy will then be bolted right there, almost like they knew people were gonna do this. And then that will fix the reverse shifting issue. So let's go ahead, unbolt this guy, unbolt that guy. If it's the same pattern, I think that's all we have to do. Pretty sure. Well, that, my friends, too easy. So not only did they do that, it looks like they also made the provisions for the lockout cable in order to get a sequential into neutral or reverse. There's this lockout collar right here that moves that guy. When you have this in a rear mounted setup, you'll take that out, plug that hole, lockout cable goes there. I love that, man. Let's get this on the engine and get that set up back in the car. Slight problem, this side transmission mount no longer fits because of this nub right here. That lockout cable does have to go in that hole. That is a completely different hole. Not sure what it's for, but they're not interchangeable. So it's got to stay in that hole. I'm gonna go ahead and shave this motor mount down just a little bit to clear that nub, and this guy can go back in. Simple as that. Engine and trans are back in. Now before I start cluttering everything up with the wiring harness, the fuel lines and all that jazz, let's go ahead and take care of the shifter and shifter cable. We only have one to deal with now, and obviously the lockout cable, but those are minor details. These pieces of junk get to come off, and I get to finally throw them in the garbage where they belong. Kind of sad, guys. Combined, I probably have like 20-25 hours in the cables in the shifter, 6 different sets of cables. You guys already know. And no, that is not my fast food. That is the other tenants in this structure. The shifter will sit somewhere in this general area. Minor details, we'll get all that sorted out later. For now, I just want to route the cable, make sure it's long enough to connect back to the transmission. Well, build's officially over. This shifter cable's too short. I'm kidding, guys. It is too short, but these are very, very easy to find longer cables of. Of course, I did want to drive the car today with the sequential. Not gonna happen. What we can do is get the cradle back in the car, get the wiring all buttoned back up, get everything else sorted out besides the cable and the shifter. Always something, man. Not a big deal. We'll keep moving forward. The last thing I can do today is just button everything up top. Get the harness back on, fuel lines back on, make sure the car still runs, and then wait for that shifter cable to come, and we are good to go. Okay, another problem. Quaife requires very, very specific gear oil in their sequential transmissions. You cannot get that stuff locally whatsoever. That's got to be ordered in as well. I'm not going to fire this thing up and have those gears spinning with absolutely no gear oil on them. This transmission's far too expensive to do that. I've done it before, not going to do it on this one. With that being said, my friends, that's going to be a wrap. NSX is closer than ever, now with a freaking sequential transmission, twin turbo, sequential K24 NSX. That sounds cool. Should be a blast to drive on the street. Hopefully here soon, man. Get that cable in, get our brakes on, get some new wheels on. We need some bead locks for sure, because this thing's gonna make some serious power. And then we can do some burnouts. See you guys then.